Quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Trading Forex is risky. Don't be an idiot. Use risk management. Enjoy the video. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you the analysis for a trade I took on EURUSD earlier this week that I closed out for 13R profit. This trading week has been absolutely amazing for me, and I have some more trade recap videos from this week coming soon, so please make sure to like and subscribe if you're looking forward to seeing them. So this trade was based loosely off a 15-minute Wyckoff distribution pattern, and I entered relatively impulsively off a 1-minute break of structure or order block kind of pattern. So without further ado, let's get on with the analysis. So looking on to the 15-minute chart, I saw, when we zoom out a little bit, so price had previously come up here, and then we had this move to the downside that has broken beneath all of this structure, signaling that price may be looking to go bearish for quite a while from now, actually, I would say, depending on how this pattern ends up playing out. Anyway, so I saw that price had come down and then had returned up to this area and was beginning to react off of this order block area up here. Now, what I noticed on the 15-minute chart was that we were beginning to get this Wyckoff distribution pattern here. Now, I don't really make a whole load of videos on Wyckoff, and I don't trade it very strongly either. It's not something that I've studied a load. I only tend to trade it when it appears in quite obvious situations like this. If you're interested in learning more about Wyckoff, there's some really great channels out there. I believe if you go down into the description, I've actually mentioned a few that cover it quite well, so make sure to go and check that out. But anyway, this is what we would call a Wyckoff distribution pattern. It happens when smart money get involved in the market. They place orders and they manipulate levels to put in large positions to move the market, basically. So seeing this distribution pattern indicated to me that price was looking to continue going bearish. Now, obviously, this is the trade here. Normally I have my sessions indicator on, but it doesn't seem to be working. My trading view is working a little bit strange now at the moment. But what I noticed was at the beginning of the day, actually what we'll do is I'll just wind price action back to the start of the day. So when coming onto the charts, there we go, come back now. What I noticed was I decided I wanted to pick out a couple of points of interest of where I may potentially be looking to enter a short position. Now, I first picked out this sort of top order block area up here at the top of the distribution as an area where price may be looking to reverse, and then also this area here that was formed at the end of the New York session and the beginning of the Asian session overnight of the previous day. I liked these areas as they both looked like areas where a lot of orders could be accumulated and where price may be looking to continue to reverse to the downside. So what I'll do is I'll just move down onto a slightly lower time frame. So I didn't set any limit orders or anything at this point because both of these areas were quite large and I do like using a very small stop loss. So my plan was to observe price action when it got into either of these areas, observe it throughout the day and look for any confirmations that might help to strengthen my trade ideas. So as you can see, London session opens, price is sort of moving around. We do push up and nearly tap into our area, but we don't. We have quite an impulsive reaction and we continue to move to the downside. We come down here, so price is showing bearish intent for me, looking like it may look to continue moving to the downside. So just carrying on throughout the London session. As you can see, we get a bit of a change of character in the market here. It fails to make a new low and starts to move back towards the upside. Now, let me put this down onto the 1 minute. So again, observing price on the 1 minute chart. What I noticed was, as we get to around midday, is we come up and we come to this previous sort of swing high area. So I was just observing price action around here. As you can see, price sort of hovers around this area. Sort of has this very weird sort of consolidation pattern and makes some sort of double top. So as you can see, the market is actually inducing a lot of sellers here. There's going to be a lot of retail traders that are going to be looking at this, seeing the actual triple top that's formed and deciding to place sell orders here. Now, this helped strengthen this Asian session POI as my short POI because we have a lot of seller inducement. So there's a lot of people entering short orders, which I'm assuming smart money will like to make it look like it's going to happen, but then shoot to the upside, take out all of their stop losses so that they can enter their positions effectively. So price creates this pattern and hovers around in this sort of consolidation. and then moves pretty impulsively up into my point of interest. Now, I was really carefully monitoring price action here because, as you can see, we're about to start the New York session even. So the New York session is about to open. Now, if you've done a lot of backtesting, if you're familiar with it, you'll often see nearly every day that you get quite an impulsive price reversal or price continuation, but quite often a reversal when the New York session opens. And as price was hovering around my point of interest at this time, I was very intrigued at potentially taking a short position. So here I was just monitoring price action very carefully and waiting to see what it did when the extra liquidity from the New York session comes in. So as you can see, we come up here and we get this little bit of resistance, and price starts to lose its bullish momentum even. So what then happens is we start to get this push to the downside. Now at this point, I'm, the psychology is going a bit, it's difficult when you see price to sort of move because it's hard not to get FOMO and worry that price will move without you. However, I try to stay as calm as possible. So as you can see, price sort of moves down a little bit and continues to move to the downside. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, right, liquidity is about to come in from the New York session. We're going to have this move to the downside now. And I was looking for where to enter. And as you can see, it's a bit of a rough one. It isn't necessarily the clearest area, but what I did mark out was this last up candle here to this little push up here as an area where I may be looking to enter. Now, I'm very aware that this is not the most reliable signal. I do not consider it the most reliable signal, and it doesn't totally follow my plan. However, I was pretty confident of this trade idea. Something about it felt right to me, and that isn't really what you should always go off, but here we are. So I marked out this area and I set my entry order at the open with my stop loss up here. And I only actually risked half of my normal risk, so I'd normally risk 1% of my account. I only risked 0.5% for this just because I was aware that it was a much more aggressive trade idea. So set that and just wait for price to come back up. Now, here we go. So you get the open of the New York session here and the liquidity starts to come in. Prices continue to show this sort of falling off bearish pattern. And we do actually come up and trigger in. Now, another feature of the extra liquidity coming in from the New York session is spreads often can go a little bit wild. So whilst I have my entry set here, it was actually triggered in at this price here. Now I'll leave a screenshot in now of my MetaTrader entry just so you can see that I actually did take the trade. So it entered in sort of like 0.2, 0.3 pipettes above where I had. So I adjusted my stop loss up just a few extra pipettes to account for this. And then it was just waiting to see what price could do. I was very nervous at this point because very aware that price could literally just carry on shooting to the upside and continue up to my other point of interest. But as I said, only 0.5% risk, which seemed reasonable to me. But thankfully, as you can see, price very quickly, once it's triggered me in, begins to shoot to the downside. Now, the next thought is where am I going to take my profits? Now, I'm very aware that price could come down and react off of some of these order blocks and continue to move to the upside. So I went to a slightly higher time frame to choose where I would set my take profit. Now, the area that I picked out for this was pretty much here where we have these sort of wick rejections of these small candles before we get this these really big impulsive bullish candles that break above these structures. So in my head, there's a lot of order block areas in here where price may be looking to reverse or at least have a reaction off if it was going to continue going bullish. Hence, I set my take profit here, which equaled about a 1 to 13. So now it was just to wait. At this point, obviously, I'd moved my stop to break even. I didn't take any partials on this just because it was a 0.5% position. I was pretty confident with my trade idea, and I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna let it run. I'd already had a good week at this point. This is only Monday, but there was other trades that I took in here using my scalping strategy, just one to freeze. I'll go through them at some point, but this is about this trade because it's a really nice trade. So, yep, price literally shoots very impulsively bearish to the downside. We do get this little pullback here, at which point I was a bit concerned, but then price continues to drop to the downside and smashes through my take profit, closing it out at 1 to 13, which gave me, in that case, 6.5% gain on my account. Brilliant. Love it. So we do that. We continue to push down a little bit more. Obviously, I'm out of the trade at this point. But price does begin to rise back up to the upside, gets very volatile, and basically just does this for the rest of the day. As you can see, as we get into as the London session closes and it's just the New York session, price does push even further down. And if I were to continue playing price, let's go to the hour chart. Ignore those. Well, videos on those are coming later in the week, shall we say. But yeah, price continues to drop to the downside. So if I'd really wanted to, I could have held this trade for a lot longer than I actually did. But I'm not really in the business of taking trades that last multiple days. I like to be in and out of the market. And this trade literally only lasted around an hour and 15 minutes, I think. Oh, an hour and a half, yeah. So really no complaints at all. I was very happy to take those pips from the market. So yeah, I know this one's been a bit all over the place. Normally I sort of write out a bit of a script for my videos, but I thought I would just run through this one in hope of making the video a little bit shorter and less waffly, but I feel like it's probably had the opposite effect. But anyway, so yeah, if you have any questions about this trade or any of the confluences or strategies that I've used in this, then please make sure to leave me a comment down below. And as I said, I will have more trade recap videos from this week coming over this weekend and the start of next week. So if you're interested in seeing those, then please make sure to subscribe to my channel as well. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you all very soon.